Hey guys, today in this video we're going to talk about 3 inexpensive ways that will make your home more secure. Stay tuned. Over the years, I've worked for a company that actually installed security systems for major corporations, and one thing that I know about that is that they want their facility secure. And I'm thinking to myself, why not do it for my own home? One of the ways that you can do this for your own home today, and it's really super easy, is to change out the screws that you are using for your bolts, because that will make the biggest difference in the world. A bolt, a screw that's this big, that's holding in your deadbolt, compared to a screw that's this big. This is the difference between 1 kick in the door and 5. So that's just one really inexpensive way that's going to make it much more difficult for the perpetrator to break into your house. So let's just go ahead and do that. Bam, I'm feeling good already. Just super easy to do. This is great for widows, women who simply want to make their house, they want to make it a little bit more secure. Nothing to worry about. It's just super duper easy to do. Alright, so that's going to make a huge difference if somebody tries to kick the door down, and they're gonna face like, wow, this is a much more difficult process than I imagined. You want to do the same thing for the deadbolt. As you do the deadbolt, you want to do the same thing for the simple door lock. So you're getting the point. You get the idea that if you make it just a little bit more difficult, it's going to make your house feel a little bit more safe. And you never know if the thief is just trying to kick it down and they can't, because you put some bigger screws into this your deadbolt. They might actually give up and they might walk away. And I'll tell you what, that could be the difference between life and death. Just a couple of screws. What I'm going to show you next is the mechanics of the deadbolt and how you really don't need to add anything else to it. You can see how the lock is already built into the door itself. This piece is solid metal. So all the force that's going to be put into somebody actually trying to pushing it in this way, it's going to be connected to the physical door. And it's got so much, this is actually just an extension of the door itself. And it's really strong, so you don't have to worry about putting anything else onto this. This is actually strong enough. Once you've got the screws in there, be sure to go in and test that the door actually is locked. You can see, let me get the flashlight here, and I'll show you. And you can see down in there how the door is actually sticking inside of there, which is exactly what we want. Whereas before that wasn't. That was actually like it was sticking out, and it wasn't fully going in there. It had been like that for a long time. So that's something you definitely want to check. You want to check that your doors are actually locking ready. It's as simple as that. So the second thing that you can install inside of your house that's really easy to do and you don't need a whole lot of experience is one of these. Now this is a dawn to dusk sensor, or otherwise known as a photocell. It looks for the sun, and then when the sun goes away, it allows power to go to your lights. Bad guys hate lights. They can't stand it because they don't want to be seen. So if your lights aren't on when you come home, that's a vulnerability. and they look for those kind of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this light and we're going to put this photocell on it, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. Okay, so the first thing you want to do for a light is make sure that the power is off. These are controlled by light switches. So you don't have to worry about circuit breakers or anything. You can clearly see that as soon as you hit the light switch, the light comes on. Go ahead and hit this light switch. Now if you got other people in the house, you'll want to put a piece of tape on here and write, keep off or don't turn on. Nobody's in this house, so I don't have to worry about that. These are all held together by some simple tools. You unscrew them. You just have to figure it out as you go, for as every lamp is different. Alright, so the only thing that was actually holding this entire light on was this little bolt. You can see that it matches the color of this, and I simply unscrewed it from there, and you can pull it right off. From here you can see some obvious nasty stuff. You got spiders trying to live back in there. What we're going to do is this black wire, we're going to focus on taking that off, and I will show you how to wire up the photocell. Alright, and so here is the finished result. If you are just a little intimidated by this, don't worry about it. We have all the white wires going together, and then we have the red wire from the photocell going directly to the lamp. And see how there's only two right here? That's all you need to worry about. The third wire, the black wire coming out of this one, is going to the switch light. That is the switch wire that's going to control the power. And then you can just leave this on as long as you like. Again, read the instructions. I know what I'm doing. I have a degree in electrical maintenance, and I also want to say that if you are not confident that you shouldn't be doing this. But if you feel like you can tackle this, go right ahead. Follow the instructions in every manual that for every product that you buy, and you'll be fine. Just make sure all power is off. Okay, so we got the lamp back on. I'm gonna do a little cleanup work, but I just wanted to show you how to test this and how it actually works. Go ahead and put the light back on, and then put your hand, thumb, finger, whatever, right over the photocell, and boom, did you see that? Isn't that cool? So this simulates darkness, because it covers it up, and it only comes on when it's dark. And then when, the sun comes out and it sees the light, boom, comes right on, turns right off. This is going to be just really, really cool for, when it gets dark or when it starts to get dark, it'll just go boop, and then bam. Look at that. Isn't that neat? It's going to make my mom so happy when she comes home. And then the light just turns on all by itself. This tool is so effective and it's so great. Wow, what a lot of work just to get that one little device into the siding and to wire it all up. Man, don't you wish that there was just some other way where you can just make it just a little bit easier? And there is. I have something special for you, and I want to show it to you. Alright, and so here it is. This little device is absolutely amazing. You can just simply take this. You can see where you can screw this on. Screw this into your lamppost, and then take your light, and then screw it right on top, right inside that thing, and you are good to go. You don't have to fuss with any kind of wiring. You don't have to do anything like that. All you gotta do is screw it in, and then you will have this. And isn't that what you want? You just want something simple, where you can just plug it in, and then turn it on, and then it will absolutely do the job. I highly recommend this because most people aren't aware of what goes on with electricity, And it's just it's such a simple solution to the problem, and it's really inexpensive. It's only 13 bucks. You can't beat it. And from an electrician standpoint, I highly recommend this. You know, I worked with security systems as well, and one thing I know about the criminals is that they don't like to be caught. They don't like lights. They don't like it when they feel that somebody's at home, and this is such an inexpensive little tool that will do a fantastic job. So I highly recommend it. And on top of putting bigger screws into the door, you can also add a third locking mechanism. Now let me show you what I mean. So here we have your standard little lock, which you can turn with a key, and then you have another one of these locks right here. Put your longer screws in here and your longer screws in here, and that will definitely add some resistance. The whole point is to continue to add resistance. And a simple little lock that's inexpensive or that will add resistance is one of these guys. Now you all know what this is. You can find this at Home Depot. This actually was my mother's idea, and I thought that was a fantastic little idea. For somebody like, who's a widow and trying to add like a little bit more resistance, this gives you time, and that's really what's important, is that you want to be able to have time. So go ahead and install one of them. They're really super easy to do, and you can tell right away that as soon as somebody tries to get in, there's that extra bit of like, it can't. Now if I really try to like kick on this, yes, it's going to fail. But if you have 1, 2, 3 things, you are absolutely going to make it more difficult for a person trying to get into the house. And that's the whole point.